Breaking news now coming in. In fact, the top government sources have told CNN News 18 that government is working actively on the delimitation process, and before the delimitation, census must happen. Apart from that, what we are also learning is that government sources have told us that census cycle is going to be changed, but the change of the cycle is going to be implemented from 2025, the cycle from 25 to 35 and then 35 to 45, etc. in this pattern is going to be followed. Census report is likely to be published next year, then to 2025, which is the year of 2026. In fact, from 2026 onward, the delimitation process will begin, which is expected to end then in the year of 2028. Couple of more details to follow as and when we receive it from our reporter. But right now, the big news of the hour would be what the government sources have told CNN News 18 with regards to the delimitation process, which is going on at the moment, that too very actively on government's part. We have CNN News 18's Payal Mehta joining us on the broadcast. Payal, a very good morning to you. Please help us put that into perspective for our viewers. The process is going on with full bang.
Good morning, Sakshi, to you and to all our viewers. And yes, of course, the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Ministry of Statistics are the two departments that are constantly working on this. One must remember the last time that the census was supposed to happen, it was supposed to happen in 2021, but because of COVID, it could not happen. So now the cycle changes. It goes on effective from 2025, which is next year. The report gets published around 26. And then 26 onwards, you have up to 28 time period to actually do the delimitation. And once the delimitation is done, then you can probably bring in the women reservation bill into impact by putting in the 33%. But the big takeaway is what we're given to understand by way of top government sources is actually that there is going to be no provision for caste census to really happen at this point in time. What is going to be available is that for members to, in fact, for anybody who's taking the survey or taking the census, they can apart from the religion, they'll have to put in their sect. Which sect, SCCT do they belong to? That is something which is going to be provided for. We do understand that a lot of political parties want caste census to happen, but as of now, the government is not willing to do that. So this is going to be a very, very important way to see how we can actually get this into place. Because once the delimitation is complete, then the women reservation bill, etc., can also be pressed in as well. But the big takeaway is that there is no likelihood of any caste census to happen in the next census, which begins in 2025.
But Payal, we will have to, wait for a couple of more years, because we are expecting that, from 2026 delimitation process will begin, which is expected to end in the year of 2028. So there are a couple of more years that we will have to wait for.
Well, of course, once the caste census is complete, only then the delimitation process can begin. And once the delimitation process begins, which means the number of seats will increase across the entire country. Of course, the government is also very mindful of the fact that, caste census, you beg your pardon, census is going to be important, but there are also various states, that have actually implemented a very strong policy for population control, like the southern part of the country, states like Tamil Nadu, etc. So they have to also be given a fair treatment, given the fact that they can't be punished for actually following strict norms of population control, because the delimitation of seats can happen according to the population, but provision will obviously be made for these states which have religiously followed the population control method as well. So that's something which is also under active consideration of the government.
Right, Payal, thank you so much for putting all of that into perspective for our viewers. We will keep coming back to you for more details on that story. Right now, shifting focus.